Hi, this is Paul. I wanted to just quickly point out a couple of things, and most of you hardcore Jordan Peterson fans have probably already seen it. If you haven't seen the almost 2-hour interview from Jordan Peterson on Gainstiel, some of my Dutch friends will correct that, but it's a Dutch blog. One of the best interviews I've seen with Jordan Peterson. Peterson, I thought, was at his best after the Cathy Newman interview. On one hand, it was wonderful to see Peterson not succumb to what has become a habit in journalism. And I thought this piece in the Atlantic, why can't people hear what Jordan Peterson is saying, by Connor Friedersdorf, I probably massacred his name, I thought was a terrific piece, because he just kind of takes apart and says, this on the right and the left in journalism today is what's passing for journalism, and it's just wrong. It doesn't help anyone. And what Peterson managed to do in many ways was unmask that game. Yet here in this video, Peterson doesn't take a victory lap and crow, and he doesn't put up little videos saying, I owned Cathy Newman. He says, okay, so we had this thing, and she tried to play this game, and in a sense Peterson beat the game. Fine. So now what do? Well, now we sit down and we have a conversation, and we talk for an hour with cameras rolling, and we display to the world our capacity to talk as civilized human beings, to talk about ideas, not to label one another, and to work through these issues, to work through these complicated issues together, because this is what civilized people do. This is what helps us in the world live together and work out our differences. And if you're involved in a difficult relationship, or a difficult marriage, or a difficult interaction with someone, this is the way forward. And it's not about who wins and who loses. It's about, okay, we have some differences. Let's talk about our differences, and let's talk about them, because me winning over you doesn't change you. And this for me was one of the key insights of certain aspects of the civil rights movement with Dr. King. Dr. King recognized that unless the heart of your adversary changes, and that heart has to change willingly, you don't get anywhere. And as a Christian minister, this is why I don't believe in haranguing people or guilting people, because the Lord loves a cheerful guilter. The cheerful guilter, a cheerful giver. And the motto of my alma mater, Calvin College, is we offer our hearts promptly and sincerely. And so, yeah, are we going to have conflicts? Absolutely. There are status hierarchies throughout the social matrix, and that's completely natural to us, and that's absolutely fine. So how do we work it out? How do we figure it out? How do we get to the right ideas? How do we recognize competence? We do so by sitting down and having a conversation, by being honest with one another. And if the other side has a better point that I'm maybe not willing to agree with yet, but I think they have a better point, you say so. And you're honest with it. So I've been listening in this journey to more podcasts by Sam Harris, and Sam Harris is supposed to be my adversary, and but I listen to his podcast, and he can have a conversation with people, and I think this is what I want. This is what we need. We don't need to yell at each other. And yeah, do I yell? I yell, but I'm not yelling at you. So these are the conversations we have. And again, watch this video, because I think Peterson was at his best, and the guy who interviewed him, I thought, did a terrific job, and it was just great to listen to. So there's a little recommendation.